Hello, hello. Welcome to Community Conversations. I am Keisha. I'm your host of the last Community Conversations for this season. So let's talk about what that means. If you're new to what Community Conversations is and you just happen to hop on this premiere and you're trying to figure out what's going on, I'm letting you know exactly what it is. So Community Conversations was born out of the pandemic. It is our way of connecting to the community when we couldn't do as we usually do, right? So cannabis culture is all about community. It's all about how we connect and where we connect. And prior to 2020, we did a lot of connecting outside, right? And so after being at home and watching a lot of the things and ways in which we communicated and connected, Community Conversations was born out of that. So it's just a way of kind of keeping abreast of what's going on in cannabis, talking a bit about what's happening in your area. Specifically, this is a Maryland-based show, but ideally it's born to be something a bit more regional. So moving forward, the show is not going away entirely. What is happening is outside is opening back up, right? And there are individuals who feel safe and want to connect into those environments. And so one of our goals of Explore Maryland Cannabis is providing a way to connect with others without the fluff. So we have been researching, we've been doing our due diligence as it relates to transitioning our online events back into in-person hybrid events. And while we don't think we have the final answer and solution, we've got some really good plan A, plan B, plan C's that you'll see rolling out of our organization coming very soon. And I'll also talk a bit about that towards the end of this community conversation. But today is still all about a conversation, right? We are talking about two things. So May is all about cannabis. Well, every month is all about cannabis, but in particular, we connected cannabis with cooking and nutrition. Also, May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So we made that connection between mental health awareness, how you use cannabis, whether it relates to a condition that you are treating physically, mentally, emotionally. For the record, all cannabis use is medicinal. Just point blank period. You are using the plant to treat something. So take that nugget there and share it with your friends and family. You can also share this video with them if you are looking for a way to connect with a community who you are looking for employment, because workforce is our jam and we're doing a lot to make sure that folks get employed and stay employable in the cannabis space. And also, if you're a small business owner, come on over, join the Explorers Club, and you can learn more about that membership organization piece that we have to our organization right here. All right, so yeah, once again, that is the Explorers Club. Super proud of our membership program. You'll be hearing a lot more about that as June comes into full force. So, cooking. How many of you all actually cook with cannabis? So if you're looking for a bit more of a variety of using and taking your medicine, you can absolutely cook with cannabis. So whether you're using raw flour, decarbing it, right? And using it in your butters, your oils, blending it down into your smoothies, or however you consume your raw flour. There's ingestibles on the market. So think a bit about, when you move into June, ways to incorporate cannabis into your everyday life, right? So one of the ways that you can break the stigma surrounding cannabis use is by normalizing the use of it, right? I am a person who works out very often, to the tune of, I was gifted a massage for my birthday, which was last week. your gift's coming in the mail, I know. I was gifted a massage. I took that massage, and I can't tell you how that changed my life. One of the reasons why is that I didn't realize how much tension that was built up into my muscles. And no, this is not a sale for a massage, but it's one thing that I want you to think about is being intentional about the things that you do. So as a person who works out often, my cannabis use varies from using it in a vape form to smoking, combustible flower to topicals to even infusing it in my food. And I know those benefits, but sometimes you forget, right? So some of the best ways to incorporate cannabis, maybe just by trying something different. If you typically start the morning with a wake and bake, right? How about baking some healthy muffins, or using I've heard folks have used butter in their coffee. I sometimes use coconut oil, so no shade, no foul, but infusing some butter, putting it in your coffee, and getting your day started just like that, right? Switching up the way in which you consume also kind of tricks your endocannabinoid system into maybe not necessarily having you max out at your tolerance level. In my experience, that has truly been the way to make sure that my medicine lasts for as long as it can, because we all know this market is pricey. So using cannabis for your mental health is super important, right? So being intentional about when you are consuming cannabis, whether it's through topicals, whether it's through some type of combustion, whether it's just actually purchasing cannabis. We all know that things can kind of go awry, and sometimes we want to stockpile our favorite product, but be intentional about it. Be intentional. So those were the two major points of May, some of the things that we talked about on our social channels, in our newsletter, we stressed in all of our conversations. So let's talk about what's next. So what's next is first this. That's first things first. We are super excited to highlight our industry workers wherever you work in the industry.